Hi, it's Robbie from Southern California, and today I'm going to talk about the birds that I feed in the garden. You know that we feed over 60 species of small birds, but so many of you have asked, what are you feeding? Well, it will depend on the birds because every bird eats a little bit different. The insect eaters, well, they're on their own. They got to forage around and look through my plants, and what I provide for them is water. And by providing water for bathing and drinking with the fountains I make, they come in to drink and bathe and then look around. Now, why is it good to have seed eaters in here if I've already got insect eaters? Well, here's the thing. I want to bring the insect eaters in and I want them to know it's safe here. Now, how do they know it's safe as they're flying by? Well, what they do is they come by and they see a bunch of birds. Geez, they think, there's thousands or hundreds of birds here. This must be a good place to hang out. So then they come check it out and they find the fountains, they find the insects, and they eat the insects out of my garden. Hopefully it's the bad ones because we do have good ones we want, but I can't tell them what to eat, but mainly they get the bad ones we don't want in our garden. So by feeding seed eaters, that entices the insect eaters to come in. It's a wonderful balance. Now, as far as the seed eaters, what do I feed them? You could go to the store and you could buy wild bird seed. They sell it everywhere. Grocery stores, every store that has anything like that will have wild bird seed. Though that will work, it may not bring in everything. The birds that you want, because there's a lot of seeds in there they won't eat. It's loaded with radish seeds. It's loaded with a lot of other different things they put in there, and they simply don't eat that. Their beak isn't strong enough or have the ability to crack it and eat the part that they need because they don't eat the whole seed. A lot of birds, they just pick it around. They eat the center, the germ of the seed. Like wheat germ, that's what they're going after. Now, of course, you've got your doves and your pigeons that come in and they'll eat the whole seed. They don't crack anything. They swallow it. And that's why doves aren't the greatest thing in the garden because they come in and they can empty out a bowl in a matter of minutes because all they do is shovel it up. Where a seed eater comes in, and what they do is they pick out the seeds that they want and then they eat the part they want. So you got a little bit of a slow eater versus one that's a fast eater. Let's get on our way and come back and get more later. So anyways, if you keep that in mind, that's why there's a difference in the birds. Now, it would be wonderful if I can get the pigeons and the doves to eat pigeon mix, which is a cheap feed, very similar to wild bird seed, but it doesn't work that way because they come in, they see all the good seed behind here, and they go, well, they want that seed too. Even though they swallow it, they still want that seed. So let's get into what I feed. There's three types of seed mix that we get. The first one is parakeet seed. Now, it doesn't matter if you get 15% or 25% or 10%. That's the amount of canary seed in there. Any of them will do. Get the cheaper one. But the parakeet mix is what they really like. It's got a lot of small millet. It's got a little bit of oat groats in there or whole oats. And it's got a few other seeds in there that they like. That is a really good mix. That's the number one mix for your small birds. The number two, which is not really a mix, would be sunflower seed. And you want a medium to small sunflower seed for the birds you're feeding in the garden. Now that depends on the type of birds. Your house finches, sometimes your white crowns, scrub jays, who knows what you're feeding, will crack those seeds, grosbeak, and eat those. You can get the big ones, but sometimes it's too big for them. So I would go with the small to medium, and it doesn't matter if it's gray or black oil seed. Either one will do. The third mix that we feed, and not all the time, is finch mix. That's got super tiny seeds in it. And really, we're starting to analyze that even the spice finches that are not native, that do live here now by the hundreds, come in here, they actually prefer the parakeet mix. But we still get finch mix and we still mix it in because we have found that the goldfinches here, the lesser goldfinches who really don't like hard seed, they come and eat the seeds off the plants that are still in the green stage or just turning dark, and hard. They prefer the small finch mix when they come in because their beak is very soft. Where you've got goldfinches on the East Coast that will crack sunflower seeds. They're all different. So if you remember that, I think you'll be able to entice the birds in. Now, where are you going to get this? The odds are you're going to have to go to a feed store if you've got one, and they'll know exactly what you're looking for. And that would be something like you go for chickens and horses and all that. They carry a lot of different feed mix. If not, go to a pet store and buy pet grade, because the ones that we are getting in here is from a pet store. It is really good. It's good for you to feed your pet birds. And we know it is a good, strong, healthy seed. You can even sprout it if you wanted to, not that you want to, but by sprouting it, you'll know the seed is fresh. And we do feed fresh seed because we buy it constantly for them. I think that's what brought in so many species of birds. They come in, and the more that come in, it's like, wow, what's going on there? More birds come in. I mean, if you were going to look for a restaurant and you were driving down the street, there was a whole bunch of restaurants, and you saw, well, gee, nobody's there. Oh, a few people. Oh my gosh, look at that one. The line goes around the corner. But they said we could get right in. They have so many seats. Where are you going to eat? Well, that's what's going on here. So keep that in mind. It's a good parakeet mix, finch mix, and sunflower seed. That's what we feed here. And then, of course, some of it falls to the ground, and sometimes a lot of the different millet grows around here too. And in the fresh green stage, they all come in and dive bomb that and eat that. So I hope I've answered your question on what we're feeding in our bird garden. When it comes to hummingbirds, you know what I'm feeding? 1/4 cup of white granulated sugar and 1 cup of water mixed well, and that goes out daily. But today, I am talking about our seed eaters and, of course, our insect eaters that we invite in here, and we want them all. So with that, have a wonderful day, and don't forget to eat what you grow. Bye-bye. And maybe you can grow some bird seed too, but you'll never grow enough. We can't grow enough. Bye-bye. Okay, let them eat.